In this modern era, it is far too easy to overeat. You got fast food, which has been historically a problem. You got DoorDash to make things 10 times worse, where you can click a couple buttons and have food delivered to your doorstep. Gas station convenience stores have food marketing all over the place to get you to buy the junk food for half off. There's just so much thrown in your face each and every day. It's so easy to eat high-calorie foods, not to mention anything you normally buy at the grocery store, eat at home, bring to work with you, whatever else it is. It's just food everywhere. So let's talk about how do you actually stop overeating despite all of this. And as a former overeater myself, there are a few things you can actually do that aren't just, make better choices and eat like an adult, because that can work a little bit if you know what that means. We're going to exactly break down what you need to do to not only make better choices, but also eat better and stop overeating, but in a way that gives you the skills and ability to just recognize what you exactly need to do versus kind of some vague advice. So with that said, let's get right into it. And the first thing, I talk about this all the time because it is just that important, is start tracking your calories and your protein. Now, I'm not saying you have to be specifically rigid with this. In fact, in the very beginning, I'd even suggest just tracking how you normally eat. Don't change your diet, don't change your food, your meals, anything like that. Just eat how you'd normally eat, but log it in MyFitnessPal. Free app, don't have to worry about the paid version. I'm sure they don't like that I say that, but it's true. I still use the free version myself. Log everything you normally eat in there, and that's gonna give you that first level of awareness on what is actually happening. You're gonna see all the calories start adding up very, very quickly. You're gonna see your carbs, you're gonna see your fat, you're gonna see your protein, you're gonna see your fiber, all the nutrition information, as long as it's entered in the entries that you enter, you're gonna be able to see all that. So you'll get that data, you'll see exactly how all the foods break down, and that way you can make just a little bit better of a choice from that information alone. But what's interesting is I've talked to several people who have noticed this, where they start doing this and they automatically start making better choices. They're like, well, I don't like the fact that my goal is 2,300 calories a day and I'm at 2,400 calories a day and it's lunchtime. I don't like that. Or they just maybe don't have like a crazy amount over the calories because they just don't necessarily eat that much more than what their goal should be. But they've been doing it for so long that over time, and then including holidays and crazy weekends and stuff like that, they start eating over just enough to gain steady weight over time, and that's how they've gotten to the position they got in. But then they also go into the nutrition, like the macronutrients, and see they've been eating 40, 50 grams of protein a day for the last 2 weeks. It's crazy how easy it is to eat such low protein diets when everything is fats and carbs, like donuts and Rice Krispie treats. I'm not downing Rice Krispie treats, by the way. They're one of my favorite things, and I have them multiple times per week. But anyway, the point is, you'll be able to see that information as well. You'll be able to see where your protein's at. You'll be able to see where your calories at, and then you can start making adjustments from there. Because if you don't know where you're starting, it's hard to know how to improve that. And yeah, you can go ahead and do a complete revamp of your diet, and that's okay. Sometimes that works for people, but what I've noticed is most people don't like sticking with that because it's too dramatic of a change. So instead of restructuring your entire diet and start eating like a bodybuilder, you can say, okay, well, maybe I don't need 3 tacos for lunch and lobster mac and cheese for dinner. I don't know, just some random high calorie food. Maybe you could be like, okay, well, maybe I will switch to like a chicken, broccoli, and rice because I know it's light and keeps me feeling good and it's not overbearing on the stomach and keeps my energy smoother. And then for dinner, I'll have maybe a bigger dinner. Or maybe, I've used this example so many times, instead of getting 2 breakfast sandwiches, 2 hash browns, and a high calorie drink, maybe you go ahead and get just one of those for breakfast. 1 sandwich, 1 hash brown. And that's enough to kind of get you through maybe a small snack, and then to lunch, and then maybe a small snack, and then you come home, you have dinner, and maybe a small meal at the end of the night. And then now you've just completely changed the entire caloric input by just being aware of that, which is why I talk about calorie tracking so much. Yes, it's probably the easiest way to control your diet without completely killing out any foods. Killing out doesn't make sense. Without cutting out all your favorite foods, and it just gives you that level of freedom. But it doesn't have to be so rigid and so structured. But at the same time, with the calorie tracking, Like, it just gives you that awareness, which is very, very powerful. And then what you can do from there, which is going to help big time, is the second thing, which is eating more protein, which we've kind of already talked about, and eating more fiber. Because protein and fiber are the most satiating things you can eat. And for example, for protein, we're talking like steak and we're talking eggs are definitely more of a fat food, like a dietary fat food than protein, but it has a good amount in there. We're talking chicken, we're talking like Greek yogurt, we're talking all these different kinds of things that are higher protein than the other macronutrients. And these are going to keep you full. They're going to help you recover, not just from workouts, but from daily life, help you rebuild and recover from all kinds of things in life, and just generally keep you feeling more full. As far as fiber goes, you got things like sweet potato, you got oats, you got fruits and veggies, of course. Carrots are a big one. All kinds of these different things are going to keep you full longer. And generally speaking, fibrous foods are low calorie. So you can have a lot of them and not have it impact your total daily calories all that much, which is nice. So you combine these two things in your meals, which a lot of meals already have these included in the first place, but maybe just put a little bit more prioritization on those. It's going to go a long way. And it helps, like, according to science, it can help with blood sugar regulation, which will actually like kind of keep you from feeling the hunger hormones as much. Even if you're dieting and you're not eating enough for your body to maintain its weight, your body's going to send you hunger signals, but it's not going to be as aggressive because of that. So it's a really cool thing that you can do. It's a very simple switch. Even something as small as adding in a scoop of whey protein can go a long way, or having bowl of oats, it can go a long way, or adding sweet potato instead of regular potato can go a long way. Just these small little changes to add more protein and fiber, again, can go a long way. And the last thing is remembering why you started this. Like, why do you want to lose weight? Thinking about this is very important for two things. One, it'll kind of keep you motivated, but the real thing is it's a trigger to remember self-awareness, meaning when you feel like the dieting is hard and you don't necessarily want to continue, you're like, well, okay, well, why did I start? And then you're like, you start remembering to look for, okay, what am I eating? What am I doing? Which sometimes when it does get hard, you just don't have that at the forefront of the mind. So I always think it is good to remember why you started it, to kind of just kick yourself in a good way and get yourself back on track because of that self-awareness that comes from thinking like that. And that's a really simple one, but it's a very powerful one as well. Because when I think back to why I started, I just never wanted to be called fat again. So since then, my goals have shifted where I just want to be strong, healthy, lean, and just be a good example for my wife and kids to follow. Because, like, hey, if I'm not in shape, why would they be either? Like, my kids are young, but like it's a very important foundation for me, in my opinion, where I'm at. And that drives me to continue to work out first thing in the morning before going to work at 7:30. And it's not easy to do, but I got to do it anyway. And I'd much rather sit on the couch and just, mess around on X and just, read stuff. However, I got to get it done. There's no question about it. And as far as diet is concerned, got to stay on track, because I fell into the trap of gaining weight really easy to, pack on muscle and strength. And at the end of the day, I gained weight too fast and ended up just getting chunky. So I've dieted that down and got that under control again. But it's really about staying on point and being on your game all the time. And the best way to do that is remember why you started, but also understanding these things, understanding calorie tracking, understanding how to get more protein and more fiber, and how to kind of convince yourself to keep going even when it gets tough. And that's really what I had to say for today. If you want to learn more about how I do things and my fitness methods, go over to fitdadinnercircle.com. Thanks so much for being here. Any questions, let me know, and I will see you in the next video.